Sir, is there any difficulty to share PPT, sir?
Yeah, I'm sharing now.
Okay.
So are you able to see now?
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So I'm using my mobile. So the Wi-Fi is not working. So I'm using the mobile internet.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. Sir, we will start, sir. Shall we start?
Yes, we can start. No issue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So, good morning to one and all gathered here. On behalf of management of KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology, on behalf of organizing team and my own behalf, I feel happy and delighted to welcome our today's chief guest, Dr. Umasankar Subramanian sir, Associate Professor, College of Engineering, Prince Sultan University, Saudi Arabia. So we welcome you, sir. So I am honored to introduce our today's chief guest, Dr. Umasankar Subramanian sir. He completed his master's in VIT, Vellore from 2002 to 2004 and Doctor of Philosophy in the year 2013. He has published more than 250 plus research articles in reputed national and international journals. He has also authored 12 book chapters and 12 technical articles on power electronics application in renewable energy and allied areas. He has co-established the Renewable Energy Laboratory and directed towards the renewable energy and EV related research and projects as per 2030 vision of Saudi Arabia and United Nations SDGs. He is also a part of 2030 International Steering Committee for Global Ranking and Global Distinguished Expert and Exposed Educational Policy Network towards the Sustainable Development Goals. He worked as a senior R&D engineer and senior application engineer in the field of power electronics, renewable energy, and electrical drives in top companies like GE Energy System, Takon, etc. He is a senior member in IEEE and members of Power Electronics and Energy Society and ISTE. He held a position as Vice Chair IEEE Madras Section and Chair IEEE Student Activities from 2018 to 2020. He is an editor of IEEE Access, Springer, Elsevier, John Wiley, and other high impact journals. He received Danfoss Inverter Award during the year 2014 to 15 and a Research Award from VIT University during the year 2013 to 18. He has also done a collaborative industrial research project like Sustainable ESU Campus, Sustainable Microgrid Development, Artificial Intelligence Based Fault Diagnosis, Power Quality Audit in Southern Railway, EMI and EMC in Solar PV Inverter, Power Quality Analysis of Industries with Inface Bangalore, so Smart Energy Metering, E-Mobility and Charging Infrastructure where EVs funded by government. So with an immense pleasure, I welcome our today's chief guest to take over the session to share his wide research experience on vehicle to grid and grid to vehicle in vehicles, electric vehicles. Sir, please.
Yes. So I hope so you are able to see this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, thank you so much for the invitation. I hope so. This is the third time in KPR-IT. So I'm sharing the experience. So I'd like to thank the organizer, head of the department, and the management for giving this wonderful opportunity to share with the students as well as the participants. So this time I'm really happy and with the surprising happy. So that I'm seeing a very good audience today, and I hope so. Every one of you will get some idea about what is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. So if you look at it, so we are talking about so many technologies, etc., right? Just to take the example in today's morning, so for the past 30 to 45 minutes, I'm struggling with the network connectivity. And if you look at it, so though we have a technology, we are talking about 5G, and next we are talking about 7G, 9G, and 11G by US. So I do not know how far we establish the infrastructure before bring any new technology. So that is very, very important. So that's what I understood. For example, if you have a very old smartphone and if you have a 5G network, so there is no use. Okay, so so what we need to understand is, so we need to upgrade our infrastructure first, then we need to think about bringing all the new things. Okay, so this is what the first and foremost important thing. So everyone has to understand. So all the stakeholders, including the government. So we are going to talk about this topic. So before that, I would like to say some few words about my lab. So we are doing research on renewable energy technologies, as well as the current developments in the what is happening in this field, especially power and energy. So these are our objectives. So we are planning to meet all the objectives. So we are working towards it. So we are collaborating international as well as national. So even yesterday also we have collaboratively conducted the conference in SSM College of Engineering, Chennai. So we invited Professor Ned Mohan. So likewise, so we are doing a lot of collaboration activities as well, and part of it, so we are collaborating with the industry and doing some joint research projects. In this part, so we have a short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. So hopefully everyone know that the central government, they announced some policies to implement renewable energy as well as EV. So we should have everything in place so that in 2025 or 2030, so it is expected that everything will become electric vehicle, including the two-wheelers and the four-wheelers. And hopefully, you know very well that the Tesla has come to India, so to set up the plant, as well as already Ola, they are setting up a plants in Hosur, right? So if these are the cases, so, and also we have Indian companies, many Indian companies, so they have already started producing the EVs. So already EVs are on the road, Bangalore, Delhi, in most of the metros you might have seen, and even Coimbatore is also one of the another hub. So where you can see a lot of startups in the two-wheelers, EV segment. So even recently they introduced some two-wheelers, okay, by the entrepreneurs. So this is what the change is going to happen. So we are working towards it. So, but we expect that we cannot say that I know only the electrical engineering or I know only mechanical or automobile. So in the future is something like we supposed to learn all the interdisciplinary technologies. So it's a need. You cannot avoid it. Okay. So you just imagine that earlier it's something like, okay, automobile means only automobile. So now the trend is going to change. So everybody has to learn everything. Okay. But the core technologies will not change. For example, mechanical, electrical, and civil. So that will not change. Okay. So definitely you are going to add some mix in this. So let us see that how this grid to vehicle and vehicle to grid is going to happen in the coming years, and what are the policies we have, what are the actions plans we have. So everything I'm going to discuss. So the one important policy is every country, they have their own policy. Okay, but globally, if you look at it, so there is one good policy to mitigate the climate change. That is the only one policy. Recently, you might have seen in the news, like Uttarakhand, there is the glaciers they melt. Okay, so it has collapsed. So many projects. Okay, so many projects, crores and crores of projects. So that's what I heard. I'm not sure is it true or not. Apart from loss of life. Okay, so they link with the climate change, so but I'm not sure about the reason behind it. Okay, so just imagine, so like this, this is one such example, and if you look at it this year, I'm practically seeing the difference in the temperature. Last year and all, so I'm in Saudi here. Okay, so last year and all, we have seen around -2, -3 temperature, and this year it's not -2, it's almost +2 and 5, 7 like that. Okay, it has somewhat increased. Okay, the temperature, and especially this particular 1 or 2 weeks time, we are seeing a huge increase in the temperature also in the daytime. So that's why every country, they are forcing, okay, to amend these policies to mitigate the climate change. Now you understand, right? So why we are going for this electric vehicle, why everybody is pushing towards the electric vehicle. But one thing we have to understand, what is the necessity of going for electric vehicle if you are using a coal-based power plant to generate the electricity and charge your vehicle? So what is the use? No use. Okay, so definitely the electric vehicle need the green renewable charging infrastructure. It's not the conventional coal or thermal based power plant which can produce the electricity and you can charge the vehicle. You cannot say that it is emission free or pollution free. Okay, so this is what the ultimate understanding from this. So the motivation of electric vehicle, so I have listed out so many points, but we are lacking of infrastructure. That means the basic need. Okay, for example, for a human being, we need the house for sheltering, then we need food. Okay, apart from that only, we need to think of anything else. So likewise, so for electric vehicles also, it requires the electricity first of all. Okay, then second thing is about okay, we can have many more electric vehicle car production factories. Okay, so that is the secondary. Why? Because this graph clearly shows, so what is the projection of the future battery vehicles as well as hybrid vehicles. So we are in 2021 now, and almost we also have a certain amount of share, around 10% the battery EVs contributing nowadays. But if you look at 2025, it is almost reverse. Okay, mostly it is battery EV and IC engine will be drastically reducing. And when you look at 2026 to 2030, it is almost only battery EVs only, right? So this is the scenario. So when you think about it, so what is going to happen exactly, we can understand from this. So because of this scenario, so all the projection is towards this. Okay, most of the factories, they are working towards it, and most of the electric transmission companies, so they have to work towards this because they have to meet the demand. Okay, see, just imagine you have 1 crore cars in India. Okay, so they are using the petrol and diesel. Suddenly, if you started using the electricity, so what will happen? Okay, so that is the big question. And so do we have enough infrastructure to charge these vehicles, okay, on daily basis? Okay, so that's another big challenge. So I hope so. There is a huge and enormous requirement of electricity demand is going to happen in the coming 5 to 10 years. So if this is the case, so how we can meet, how we can achieve this? So that's what the challenge, right? So as an engineer, so we should focus on this, and already we have a certain alternatives like, okay, if you have EV, so what is the fuel? So what kind of energy system we have in the vehicle? So definitely we need some electrical based conversion device, as well as we need some battery or energy storage technologies. So we have seen many storage technologies, mechanical, electrical, thermal, right? So now the focus is towards electrochemical as well as the chemical storage. Why? Because this is an electric vehicle arena and scenario. So what will happen is, so we have a lead acid, lithium ion, and redox. So the future will be focusing towards this battery technologies. Okay, there is no doubt in that. But at the same time, so most of the governments, if you look at Japan, so they have started long back, and European Union, they started long back about hydrogen forum, hydrogen generation groups. So as to focus on this hydrogen-based fuel, okay, or you can say this is a fuel cell, okay. Instead, means parallelly they are working on both battery as well as the fuels. So vehicle to grid or grid to vehicle. So either you need this kind of one of this technology, okay, either battery or hydrogen fuel cell. So this is the case. So how we are going to meet? Okay, so this is another challenge. So most of the European companies, they started thinking about, okay, how we can generate this much this many batteries in this world. So in order to meet the demand of the growing electricity or growing EV car segment. Okay, so I hope so you understood the huge challenge behind us. Okay, though we are talking about EV, see, it is something like you are seeing a Hollywood movie. Okay, so you didn't see till now the climax, okay, or at least the interval. So this is what the scenario what we are facing now. Okay, so we are in the climate change issue. So we are in the start of this. Okay, almost maybe 20-30% we have crossed the milestone. Okay, but we have a huge challenge behind us, because the battery capacity required for the EV is very high. Okay, so comparing with the other hybrid or plug-in hybrid vehicles. So this is what the challenge. So we need a very good state of charge, as well as DOD should be very high, so that you need to have a very good capacity for almost for few kilometers at least. Okay, a few 100 kilometers. So if this is the case, so once the battery is drained, so what is the next? So how you will charge your vehicle, or how you should have another backup battery to replace the existing battery. Okay, but how will you charge the battery? So whatever the drained one with your car, so that is another challenge. Okay, so we are going to see multiple aspects, like suppose in terms of battery how we can manage, and in terms of charging how we can manage. Okay. So let us see one video which is explaining about the battery scenario. So what is currently we are going to face. So the Sun Mobility, so they have introduced the smart battery swapping solution for Ashok Leyland, okay, which is in Chennai. So they tied up and they introduced this technology in India. So like very quick battery swapping technology. And with this technology, you can see that you can very quickly, you can replace the battery of electric bus or any other electric vehicle. And it is especially focusing on the heavy vehicles, because the heavy vehicles only, so you need very good technology to replace within a few seconds or minutes. Okay, because when you look at the car segments, okay, light vehicle segments, so we can have easily replace it, because the battery is very small in size, so we can do it. So the next aspect apart from the battery is, okay, how many batteries you will swap and replace and you will charge and do it. Okay, So you should also have some alternative plans. Okay, so plan B. So the plan B is nothing but you should set up as many as charging stations. Okay, so for setting up this charging station, so the charging station will be focusing on three segments: slow, medium, and fast charging. I hope so. Most of you students and the participants, you know very well. So we are using a mobile phone. So maybe for the past 20 years, if you look at it, so that there is a drastic development in the mobile phone segment, smartphone segment. And now if you look at it, so everybody know about the fast charging technology in your smartphones. Okay. So how fast or how quickly you can charge your mobile phone, because we started using the mobile phone like our day-to-day life. It is always in with our pocket. Okay. So if this is the case, so one challenge, one point we see when we buy the smartphone is the battery capacity and the backup time. And second thing is whether it is having a fast charging or not. These 2 points nowadays everybody is looking at when you buy a smartphone. So if this is the case, so then imagine about the electric vehicle. That it is something like an enlarged version of your smartphone only. So so we need to think of, okay, where we need slow charging, maybe in the house or in the office or in the mall. Okay, so there we may spend more time, so slow charging is fine. And medium charging, some places, okay, so where we spend maybe 1 hour or half an hour, there we need the medium charging. Okay, sorry, medium charging. So fast charging is required. So when you are commuting from one place to another, so just imagine, take the buses. So the buses is moving always. So it requires fast charging technology. Also, you are traveling from one city to another city, for example, Coimbatore to Chennai. So you cannot wait for 1 hour for charging, right? So almost you lost 1 hour for the traveling time. So to avoid this, so you need a fast charging technology. It is something like your toll gates. Okay, so toll booth is there. So likewise, you should also have these charging stations at the regular interval, so that you can go and charge very quickly, maybe 10-15 minutes at least. Okay, that is so-called fast charging technology. In fact, when you travel now from Coimbatore to Salem, okay, a place called Sankagiri, so you can see that recently they have established a charging station. Okay, you may wonder that where is the electric vehicle? So they have the charging station now. Okay, so this is what the scenario. So initially they are planning to set up this infrastructure first to meet the electric vehicle demands. Okay, so this is the cases. In the fast charging technologies, if you look at it, so our rivalry counter is the China. So they are having this highest 900 kilowatt fast charging technology, comparing even with the Tesla. Okay, the Tesla is having only 135 kilowatt. So that's the reason. So Tesla having a very good tie-up with China, and they are depending on the China factories, okay, and their technology. Apart from that, ABB is another leader in this EV charging or e-mobility solution. Even in Chennai recently, if you look at it, so the IIT Madras from the engineering school, so they have tied up with ABB as well as Ashok Leyland. So these three, the top people, they have joined, and they have signed one MOU to set up one charging station inside the IIT Madras campus. So this is something like a welcome scenario, and this is going to help the researchers inside the IIT Madras and the students. Not only IIT Madras students, so also they are encouraging to allow the outside students as well to do some project or research in that, and they are allowing, maybe they may allow to see as an industrial visit also sometimes, to see how the fast charging is taking place. Okay, and this ABB they have introduced in many segments, so this fast charging technologies. So they have different segments like a connector, pantograph down and pantograph up, and they have various options from 24 kilowatt to 600 kilowatt segment. So I already told the Chinese counterpart, they have a 900 kilowatt, that is the highest rating. Okay. So when you look at this technologies, so ABB recently introduced in the Ashok Leyland, that is this is the one of the highest fast charging technology with a higher rating with the shortest time, like 20 seconds. Okay, a bus can charge within 20 seconds. Just you imagine, this is what we need when the bus is traveling from one place to another, especially the city buses. City buses, you see, it has many stops. Okay, so it should not stop for 1 hour to charge its batteries. So this is what the constraint we have in front of. So this fast charging technology definitely will change this scenario. So even it can be used for the urban buses, like in the city buses as well. So let us see one such example here. So how this fast charging has been taking place, okay, with the help of, 1 second. Yeah. So the ABB Power Grids, so they have introduced this technology. So in fact, this is taken from the European side, and Europe, they have already implemented this technology. And with this technology, you can see that this is a commuting, sorry, this is a commuting bus. Sorry. So this commuting bus, you can see that which is moving from one place to another, and you can see how the charging is taking place. It is coming to the bus stop, and you can see that the charging is done with the help of this pantograph down. Okay. So now if you look at this pantograph down, it just connects within 20 seconds, it charges and it comes down. That's it. So during that time, you know, this 20 seconds is enough, because during that time, the passengers will get on and get in. Okay. So this is what the ultimate idea of this particular charging technology. You have a battery and you have automatic energy transfer system in the top of the bus. And the bus is coming to the bus stop. So the bus stop will have this charging infrastructure. So this charging infrastructure, you can see that the moving arm, it connects, it charges, then it moves. Okay. So you just imagine, so this bus should have many things. Also the bus stop should have this infrastructure. So what you need energy transfer, then you need the converters, you need the energy storage, the grid infrastructure. The next is inside the bus, what else you have? A traction converter as well as a traction motor. So you just imagine, so all these technologies helping, okay, to transfer this automobile industry from IC engine to electric vehicle. So all these things, all the people or engineers are working towards it. So, okay, unless otherwise it's not possible. So this is one such example. You can understand what is the necessity of this. Okay. It is something like your train, right? In the train, you might be seeing that it is a permanently connected, okay, electric trains. It's the same here, okay, but it is not permanently connected. So it is like this. Or you can say that you might have seen the tram, okay, in the Europe or in Kolkata. So the tram is nothing but this one of this kind of technology where the trams are getting the electricity permanently connected with this lines, okay. But electric buses, it won't be. But in the Europe, what they planned is they want to set up a dedicated road with the transmission line, so that all the goods, okay, so trucks and heavy vehicle, so they can travel in that same road, okay. So and they can use the electricity, okay, over the transmission line, okay, over a transmission line. So this is what they planning now. Okay, so next another attracting technology what we are going to see is the wireless power transfer. They call it as a WPT. So the WPT is getting much attention now because people are more fond of this wireless charging. Why? Because the Samsung smartphone, if you look at it, so they recently introduced this one kind of technology in the smartphone, so where you can charge your smartphone wirelessly. Okay, so by using the capacitive power transfer technology. Okay, touchpad. Okay, you might have seen in the advertisements. So this is the one scenario. But if you look at it, so how far we can scale this, okay, to EV charging, okay, because a smartphone is a small one and it requires only a small power to charge it, okay. But if you look at the electric vehicle, so the battery capacity might be very high. So how we can do this wirelessly, okay? That's the challenge. So that's why many researchers are working in this domain. So in this, if you look at it, the static charging, opportunity charging, or dynamic charging. So these are the three kinds. Static means you know very well. So it's like this: you go and park your vehicle, and the plate will be in the down, and it can charge it. That is a one kind. Opportunity charging means it's something like wherever you go to the shopping mall or your supermarket or movie theater. So there you can park and you can charge your vehicle. The next thing is about the dedicated road. So what I told regarding the truck having an overhead line, so it can travel while charging itself or while getting the electricity itself. So this is next one is a dynamic WPT infrastructure, which is nothing but it's a dedicated road, and the road will be having the infrastructure. So the permanently which is embedded in the road. So the car will travel in the same lane and without changing the lane. So when it is traveling itself, you can see that it is wirelessly charging. So this is what the ultimate aim. So this is another futuristic technology. So which they are doing in the trial basis in the Europe. Okay, so Europe they already started this demonstration. But the challenge is, just imagine, so now there is a huge opposition for the 5G technology because the scientists, means one group of scientists, they claim that it is going to affect the human beings and the livings. So now in front of us, this is another challenge. Like, so if we started using this wireless power transfer, so how far this radiation, which will affect the electromagnetic radiation, which will affect the human being and the livings. So this is another challenge. But irrespective of that, the Indian government and most of the countries, so they already set up this charging stations. Okay, so this is the one which is introduced in India during July 2020, and they have set up the first public EV charging plaza in Delhi. So this has come in the news as well in India. Okay, so this is what the charging scenario and setup. Okay. And next thing is about how wirelessly we can transfer. So there are two technologies. So it is the core of electrical domain, and there is a subject called electromagnetic theory or the field theory. So which is the almost heading subject for most of your students. I hope so. Am I right? So this is the tech. This technology having this fundamental behind this. Okay. And you can look at it. So you see the Volvo and Infinity. So they have introduced this wireless charging technologies. So in the wireless charging, so the Vitricity is the topmost one. So they are in the pioneer in this particular technologies, and they are doing wonderful things in this. Okay, let us see that what is happening here. So Vitricity, if you look at it, it is suitable for any location, especially for your house. So you can see the car is coming inside, and you need to park exactly just above the charging pad. Okay, this is very simple. Also, you can see here how they set up, and this is a sensor. It shows exactly on the same location you can park. Also, using this IoT technology, you can see that it is giving how much amount of charge. Okay. So percentage of charge, and this is having some very good advantages. Okay, like the same parking facility you can use, more convenient and simple, and safety as well. Okay, so which can be useful for any kind of segments, starting from low light vehicle to even SUV. Okay, and this technology only they are suggesting nowadays for the demonstration cars. And you can see that it can be used for sports cars, sedan car, SUVs with any clearance, okay, ground clearance. So this is what the ultimate thing. So it is very much suitable for the hybrid as well as the electric vehicle. So this is going to happen in the coming years. You are going to see in your cities as well in the very soon, okay, as a demonstration car. Okay, so we have seen many things. So now what industry is focusing is batteries as well as the battery chargers. These are the two things the industry is focusing now. So in India, this is what going to happen in the coming years. So 2021 to 2025. So the projection is given like how many number of EV charging stations likely to set up like your petrol pump. Okay, and the next thing is about how many EV chargers is likely to be installed, and how many slow chargers, how many fast chargers. Mostly it is slow chargers, and maybe very few fast chargers. So this is what it is expected in the coming years. Okay, and in this, if you look at it, so you have a two-wheeler segment and you have a three-wheeler segment, you have a private vehicle, you have a commercial vehicle. So out of this, so short term, what they are planning to use, and medium term, what they plan to use. So they want to use both charging as well as the battery swapping technology, okay, for a short time. But as far as the battery swapping technology, we need many batteries and many battery swapping stations. Okay, so that's the reason if you look at it for medium term and for the long term, they are advising to have a charging stations instead of battery swapping technologies. Okay, and this is what is expected. Okay, in the coming years. So now, if you look at it, we have seen about many things. Okay, so now what is the action plan? Okay, so you have seen all the technologies for charging. So so the grid to vehicle, if you look at it, so which is very important, and what are the plans we have is nothing but, so we need to meet this, okay, as per the Schneider Electric CEO. So we need to focus on energy efficient technology in order to meet the double the energy consumption and half the CO2 emission, okay, to meet the climate change issues. So what we need to think of is the great energy transition, which is going to take place, something like complete renewable energy based 70%. Most of the installations in the near future is expected to be 70% to meet this charging demands, which is going to happen in the electric vehicles, okay, segments. So if this is the case, you think about this. And now, so what is our role? Okay, in customer role is we need to we are differentiating like university, military, and community, public institution, commercial, remote community, all the segments. Okay, so when you look at it, so what is our role and where we are strong and where we are having a weakness, okay, and what is the ownership we have. So all these things we need to look at it. Okay, so whether we have a 50% ownership or we have 100% ownership. So what we need to focus. Okay, so what is our strength and weakness? So all the scenario is given in a one chart in this picture. So this is what our role as a university and R&D. So we are strong in cost reduction, but if you look at it, so we are weak in the R&D. Okay, and we are also weak in the high reliability. So the reliability is very important. So though we are talking, we have a very good positive thing about the cost reduction, but we need to focus on the remaining two. Likewise, and each and every customer, okay, so we need to focus on their weakness as well as the strength in order to meet this demand. The next thing is, okay, so we talked about all these scenarios and charging challenges, but do we have this infrastructure in the home? That is another big challenge. So that's the reason. So recently, so many enterprises as well as the consultants, they started thinking about why not we have a zero energy building. Okay, so the zero energy building, which is having a concept where you can have the consumption will be the consumption will be taken care by its own generation. Okay, that means the electricity consumption. So what is your own generation? Either it could be a windmill, or it could be a solar, or it could be any other resource available inside your house itself. You never consume the power from the grid unless otherwise if there is any emergency requirement. Okay, so this is what the scenario. And another thing is that how far you can make everything natural. Okay, how we can use most of the natural resources. So this is what the another technology. Okay, so if this is in place, then only you can think of, okay, you can come and park your electric vehicle and you can charge the electric vehicle inside your house. Okay, otherwise there is no use if you consume the electricity from the grid. So what is the use? Okay. Second thing is DC home. So the DC is getting much attention now. If you look at it, so earlier the two scientists, they were introduced. One he introduced DC, another one introduced AC. Okay, so but luckily in the initial times the AC they won, and they have incorporated many electricity infrastructure. But now if you look at while seeing the renewable energy technologies, so it is going to attract the DC by default. So that's the reason the DC grid is getting much attention nowadays instead of AC grid. Why? Because your solar is DC, even your wind is DC, battery is DC. Then if you look at the fuel side, it is DC. Why not we use, because even the electric vehicle battery is also DC. Okay, so battery charging could be done in DC itself. So why not, why in AC? So that's what the question now. Okay. And next thing is about efficient home. So now we talked about, okay, net zero building, but now in the future, everybody will talk about how you can manage your homes efficiently, energy efficient home. So you need to have so many other things. See here. So we talked about electric vehicle, but we need all these things in place. Without these things, it is not possible to charge your electric vehicle. You cannot manage it. Okay, so these things should be in the place first. Then we can think of the electric vehicle. Similarly, for your office building, factories, and other places, we need this technologies. Okay, so first you incorporate all these things in the facilities first. Okay, then you bring the car. So that's what the ultimate aim. Then only we can easily succeed. Otherwise, there is a huge challenge. Okay, just imagine 1 crore cars suddenly started charging. Means what will happen to the electricity demand? Where you will get the electricity for that? Apart from the growing demand of the factories as well as the houses. Okay, just imagine. So first of all, you need to power your house and factories and other commercial places. Then only you can think of the car. If you suddenly bring this many vehicles, so what will happen? So where is the electricity? That's what the challenge. So are we going to face another electricity blackdown scenario or blackout scenario? So that's what the most of the scientists are thinking now. Okay, so we need to establish this infrastructure first. Okay, so for this, one of the important concepts for the electric vehicle, grid to vehicle or vehicle to grid scenario is you should have the very good smart homes in place with the energy saving as well as the passive sustainable design, and with the sort of renewable energy with some backup systems like a fuel cell and energy storage. So with, if everything is in the place, you can say that, okay, you have this infrastructure in place. Okay, apart from that, if you look at it, so the focus is also towards this green buildings or the carbon neutral buildings. Where we were in the past is we focused only on the construction, but later on we focused on, okay, LEED building, LEED certified building, or environmental impact construction. But now the focus is towards how we can adopt renewable energy and how we can think of the net zero energy building to connect the electric vehicles, because electric vehicles is hugely requires this electricity. Okay, but how you get the electricity is another challenge for your own vehicle itself. Okay, and apart from that, there is all other objectives also joining. For example, to mitigate the climate change, our focus is towards carbon neutral building. Okay, so the carbon neutral building, or you can say it's a microgrid or eco district or smart village or smart community, is going to happen in the coming years. You might be knowing in Coimbatore, many real estate providers, so they are talking about something like gated community or something like that. So the future, they will talk about carbon neutral community or eco district or smart village or smart cities. So this is what the ultimate transition is going to happen. Energy transition is going to happen. And this is the scenario. And so how this is helping the sustainable development goal, which is framed by the United Nations, because everybody is working towards this United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. To achieve the goal, you have so many objectives. For example, you can see 7, which is focusing on carbon neutral, affordable energy, and 11, if it is focusing on sustainable and green practices. Okay, so all these things will bring like, okay, we need to focus on this. Okay, so they are giving one direction, and they are putting some policies and regulation to work towards it. And as of now, you might have seen many factories in Coimbatore. Okay, even in Coimbatore, you might have seen in many factories this kind of decentralized PV power plants in terms of megawatt, or in the rooftop PVs or parquet structures. Okay, by using the solar PV inverter system. Okay, so this is also another aspect. So everywhere they are going to have this kind of setup. Even if you look at the EV charging station, it is also requires this. Otherwise, where it will get the charging? Okay, so that's another challenge. But during the daytime, it is fine. But what about the night time? Okay, so we need some backup power supply or energy storage. So this is what the huge challenge we are facing now. Okay, we are talking about smart buildings, smart cities, everything is fine. So, but finally, where we are ending up when we need the electricity demand. Okay, you can see this is the one in Dubai. So they already set up, and this one they are establishing in Saudi in the coming years. But for everything we need this. What we need. Okay, so growing electricity demand is a concern. CO2 emission is the concern. Existing transmission line networks is another concern. But we have a positive points like technology, governance, and regulators, then end users, means we consumers. So in order to make it happen, we need to focus on these key driver as well as contributing. Okay, so most of you know that as of now the power generation plants are far away someplace, and it is transmitted by using the substation, and it is distributed using the distributed stations, and it is coming to your consumers like residential, industrial, and other. Okay, but the future, if you look at it, we need to focus on many such big renewable power plants in terms of megawatt. You can integrate to the grid, existing transmission grids. Then you can expect that distributed generation and distribution level as well as in the consumer level. That means your residential rooftop power plants as well as the small wind turbine systems like that. If you do so, and if you make to act by giving active regulation, active policies, then you can think of your electric vehicle can be charged in your home as well as the industrial buildings or in the shopping mall, any other commercial places. Okay, with the help of the communication and the software technologies. For example, like your 5G, or you take about the IoT or artificial intelligence, all these technologies is helping. Okay, but we need this first. Okay, so this basic setup first, then with the help of this software technology we can achieve this. Okay, And this is what the plan. Okay, so if you have everything in place, you can think of your electric vehicles. Okay, otherwise your electric vehicle you cannot charge. Where you will get electricity? So that's what the challenge. Okay. So the vehicle to grid or grid to vehicle, it is a huge challenge now. Okay. In fact, I given more on grid to vehicle system because vehicle to grid is the next one, because sometimes you may need the car battery. You can use it for charging your utilize the car battery for maybe for in the event of power failure. You can use this car battery to light your home. Maybe you can use for lighting purposes or any other purposes, emergency purposes. Okay. But the main scenario I took for today's presentation is the grid to vehicle is a very important one. Okay, for the current scenario, because all the government they have introduced the draft policy, including the Tamil Nadu government. Okay, but we need to focus on what we need first. Okay, so we need to make a smarter demand by making all the energy efficient homes, energy efficient enterprise first. Then smarter supply, like we need to make distribution management system or digital automation, digital substation. Okay, by using renewable or by using the SCADA technologies. And you interact the consumer with the distribution side. Okay, so distributors or discoms, so that you can make a very good demand response, so that the smart grid will happen. So then only you can say it's a smart grid. Okay, so unless otherwise, if everything is not in place, you cannot achieve your target like in 2025 or 2030. So this is what my conclusion. And apart from that, the energy storage is also going to play a huge role in this, because everywhere you are going to see the energy storage. You take a shopping mall or supermarket or hypermarket, or you take your electric vehicle or any other backup power supply. So we are in need of this. Okay, so our focus is towards how we can achieve this smart grid environment, so that you can connect your electric vehicle, but you need the help of the energy storage. There is no doubt in this. Okay, so you can see this is one kind of smart city where you can see very good facilities, infrastructure in place. You have a charging for electric vehicles. You have a very good grid. You have a technology for remote diagnosis. Okay, you have the technology for renewable integration, and you can look at the software which you're using, status monitoring, customer interaction, backup power supply, everything is there. Okay, so this is one such example. In the coming maybe in 10 to 20 years, you are going to see this kind of setup. Okay, physically. So in order, if everything is in place, okay, then only you can achieve. And you can see that the solar, okay, so many things, wind, so all these in place, then only you can achieve this. Okay, the electric vehicle charging. Otherwise, it's not possible. So with this, so I would like to give some different researches happening around the world. So these are the researches happening. So how they are charging the EV in the house as well as in the commercial application and parking application. And what is the future scenario? So are we focusing only on battery? No. So the focus is towards hydrogen fuel cell as well. Okay. So there is also a lot of scope for research, a lot of scope for business as well as the employment opportunities in the coming years. Then there is a very good scope for AI, big data, and IoT, so which is going to it is something like application. Okay, it is not the mainstream, so it is application domain, which is going to help the renewable energy sector in the future. Thank you so much for your patient learning. I hope so. You might have got some very good idea about what is going to happen, and what are the domain you can focus as a student okay, so that at the end of your graduation, you will get the job in this any one of this domain. So those who are in the first and second year, you have a very good opportunity because you are going to see that transition lively. So those who are in the third year and fourth year, almost if you look at it, so you start doing such projects and mini projects kind of things so that you will get the opportunity in this. So with this note, I thank the KPR management, KPR-IT management, as well as head of the department and the organizers, as well as the principal. So thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. So now I'm open for the discussion.
Thank you, sir. Participants, if you have any queries, you can ask to a resource person or you can put it in the chat box. We'll wait for a minute, sir. If there are no questions, we'll close the session, sir.
I have finished the session. Anyone have?
So there is a question, sir. So there is a question. Give me some
Actually, it
idea
was
about mini projects.
from your side. I don't know.
So there is a question.
So you can do some mini projects in this particular domain, like how you can think of, okay, about different battery technologies. Okay, so how the battery charging you can do it with the help of your power electronic devices or the converters. So that kind of mini projects you can do it. Or if you want to do some demonstrative projects in your campus, okay, to show the demonstration, also you can set up some charging, okay, stations inside your campus, and you can demonstrate this as well. Okay, so that will be really helpful for the institution level as well as for the student understanding levels.
Participants, kindly post your questions in the chat box. Since there are no questions, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Uma Shankar sir for giving us a wonderful session on renewable energy and smart grid. And we are really happy to have you back, sir, for one more session on electric vehicle. So we'll
Thank you
end
so
the
much.
session. So we'll end the session now, sir. Since there are no questions, we'll end the session, sir.
Thank you so much. We'll meet in another wonderful occasion. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.